All right, we're back live. Ringer Tailgate Saturday reaction show. We're a little bit flustered right now. We were lagging a little bit.
We. Wasn't our
Sounds
fault.
like you were a little bit flustered right there,
I was
Tate.
flustered at the start here, but yeah, we're back. Ringer Tailgate. I'm your host, Tate Frazier. We got some great games to talk about. Florida, Georgia just wrapped up. Georgia 5 straight against Florida. The Gators played hard in this game. They had their opportunities, but Georgia once again finds a way to win this game. But first and foremost, let's say what's up to our guys. Van Lathan with the aluminum bat. He still got it. What's up, Van?
So I guess since we had to like bring the show back, do you feel like you have to do the same intro? Because they heard you say the aluminum
I
bat
don't
thing.
know. I
I
feel
was
like
wondering. Yeah, I was wondering what was going on there. I don't wanna say-
I'm thinking about the podcast audience. You know what I mean? Like if they never saw this
Oh.
live, they're listening to it for the first time. You know what I mean? I didn't want to have the editors have to piece together the two different intros. Right? Got the production mindset. I don't want to make these guys have to do double duty. But
kinda-
again, Van. In case you missed it the first time, double shot. Van's got the aluminum bat.
The Easton.
The East. And we got Joel Anderson. Joel, we don't have to do the pleasantries right now, but what's up with you? How you feeling after that Georgia-Florida game? Did we learn anything about Georgia or Florida after this game?
I think that Florida still, and it's all these kids get paid now. It's still a credit to Florida that they play so hard every week. Like, and it doesn't make a difference. Like, clearly, they're not playing for the playoffs anymore, and yet and still they're in it every game, and that's something I think that is admirable about them in that program, and speaks well of Billy Napier. Like, if he ever gets another chance, that's something that they can point to and be like, well, you know what, his team still played hard even when you didn't think they had anything ahead of them. And as for Georgia, man, we were just talking about this before the feed came back on, and they are a very good veteran, plucky team, but nothing about them scares me. Like, I don't. I guess Zachariah Branch is maybe the one guy on that whole team that scares me. But they've got a lot of talent, but nothing that just pops. They don't scare me. I just feel like they could be, they're gettable, so to speak. But I
Yeah,
do
I
think
mean,
that, yeah.
if you're comparing them to the dominant Georgia teams from the past, then they certainly don't have that same aura. And I'm not scared, but I will say, anytime you know that you have to play every second of a game to beat a team,
Mhm.
it's always tough. And there's just been so many times where it seems that Georgia was on the ropes. The only team that was able to put together a complete performance and actually get the kill shot on them was Alabama. And Georgia made a couple of they snake bitten when it comes to Alabama, but they made a couple of
Also had one of
uncharacteristic
the
mistakes
worst
there.
drops I've ever seen for a touchdown in that game. That was a wide open touchdown where
So
you have a true
certainly.
freshman drop the ball. So I mean, there was kind of an extenuating circumstance there. With Kirby Smart, I think he is the class of all coaches right now in college football. So that's what really scares me about Georgia. I feel like they can still figure out ways to win games. We did litigate the YouTube TV situation. We talked about how the multi-view has affected us personally. We don't have to redo that. So let's just go right into things. One big reaction, Van. I'll go to you first. What was your one big reaction from the early windows of games?
I think Miami's in hell. I
Mm.
think we got to open the gates of hell from
Open the
Miami. Now,
gates.
here's the thing: a two-loss Miami team. There's still a path for them moving forward, but there's two things that makes me think Miami's in hell right now. Number one, the fact that a lot of the stuff that we praised them for at the beginning of the season now seems to be the kinds of stuff that's biting them in the ass. When we got off to the start of this season, it was the fact that Carson Beck was playing so consistently. He was able to be that quarterback, that point guard for them, get the ball all over the field and make big throws at big times. Well, now you're seeing, even though he had a great second half in this game today, he makes a crucial mistake at the end of the game to lose the game for them. And, they essentially, after you turn the ball over on the first drive of overtime, your chances of winning that game plummet, right? And then the offensive line. As
Mm.
much praise has been heaped on the offensive line, they are really penalized, sort of reeling unit right now down there in Miami. And those were two things that they could really hang their hat on. The defense still plays pretty good, but gives up plays when you really need to have a stop. They seem to kind of bend a little bit. I wonder. I wonder about the Hurricanes if there isn't another loss in there somewhere.
And we've seen, here's the first fact for you. Mario Cristobal, 4-9 in the month of November while at Miami. He's 12-10 against unranked ACC opponents at Miami. So Mario Cristobal obviously has struggled once it's gotten late in the season. That was sort of the knock. Last year, they lost 2 of their last 3. They ended up being the second team out of the playoffs. So that was obviously a big talking point coming into this season. Could they get over the hump? Could they be one of those teams? And Joel, right now, it looks like they're on the outside looking in, especially with the ACC championship game. They're not going to be in that game now, looking at the rankings and the standings.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, I just want people to hold me accountable for being right about Miami.
Was that your reaction?
Yeah, right. Yeah, 3 days ago, y'all mocked me for my opinion that Mario Cristobal might face a very angry fan base if he lost any more games this season. And I didn't say that we're gonna get fired, but I did say, man, if he loses any one of these last games, people are gonna start talking about getting his ass out of there. And they heard it. And Van, it was Van.
What the hell is going on here? That's like that. But no, bro, that not even the furthest right MAGA spin doctor could just cook up the sludge that you just gave to us. You said, I was right. I was right about the fact that if Mario Cristobal lost another game, that the fans would be mad. Yes, I was right. Van Lathan, I was right about the fact that
y'all clown me.
Mickey Mouse lives with Minnie Mouse, and he's gonna laugh.
I don't think they live
what are you right about? There's nothing. Yeah, if they lose again, they're gonna be mad.
I don't think Mickey and Minnie live together. Is that right? Is that
you
true?
are Negro dollars now.
I went because over my props because y'all had set up here and we're like, oh man, they're not gonna fire no Mario. That's not gonna happen to Miami. Miami is back. The U is back and all this other shit.
This is all lies.
Run back to Tate.
By the way, I did not think that they were going to lose to SMU, but yeah, if they lost, people were going to be mad.
Because I said, again, a team coached by Mario Cristobal, there was this assumption that Miami had pretty much a free run to the playoffs, that they had gotten past their hardest game and that they were going to go ahead and get in there. And I was like, I don't know about that. Like, I didn't see from them that they were going to be that kind of a team. And so here we are today. And Van, you're the one that threw this Twitter Spaces, and I want to shout them out. AJ.
Oh man,
they did a great job.
The man of your dreams. Van threw this Twitter Spaces to our group text. I listened to that shit for 2.5 hours, dog.
I listened to there was a Twitter Space, and it's like the Jam DJs or something like that. What is like the Jam Posse or something? It was on Uncle Luke's page, and I went there and I listened to it. And it was about the most entertaining post-game show I have ever. There was a guy on there named Big Boss. Whoever Big Boss is,
shout out to him.
Big Boss.
He was pissed. And they argued so many different things. They argued what was wrong with the team. They kept saying TVD. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they're talking about Tyler Van Dyke.
Shout out.
And I hadn't thought about him in so long.
Yeah, man.
But to Joel's point, there were people inside of that space that wanted Mario Cristobal to be fired. And then there were some people at the end, cooler heads came in and said that, listen, this is not a problem that is individual or unique to Mario Cristobal. Manny Diaz had this problem. Coaches before Manny Diaz had this problem with not quite being it. Mark Richt had this problem with, for some reason, not being able to finish seasons strong and impose their will on teams like Miami teams of old. And they were asking if there was some systemic contagion inside of the program that was keeping these coaches from being able to fully bring the U back.
The funny thing about that is all those guys got fired. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, it feels, again, and I would say, wouldn't y'all
circling back?
Would you all not argue that the vast majority of the people in that spaces wanted that man fired or gone?
They were pissed off.
They were pissed, especially about the in-game coaching. I mean, the best part of the spaces was, at least for me, someone brought up the referees, right? How they had been getting hosed on these referees calls. There was like a pass interference. They picked the flag up, and that's why I knew that they were a good fan base, because like someone brought up the refs and everyone was like, "Man, shut your ass!"
Yeah,
up.
right. Yeah, they were literally talking to him like that. Also,
what they say? Hold on for a second.
Shut your ass up, man. Come on. That was good.
The essence.
Man, we talked about that, man. What are you doing, dog?
It was a shut your ass up moment. It was great.
No, that's not how you said it a second ago, Essence. That's not how you said it.
Don't do that.
I'm just telling you, it got me fired up because whenever you blame the refs, I'm done with you. I'm done with the refs.
We gotta address the elephant in the room. Fuck that shit. We gotta address it. We were joking with Tate about the Tar Heel thing.
Guys. Why are you bringing this up, man?
We were playing, and Tate. People in Tate's life are mad at us. The North Carolina fans are mad at us. We were joking about him being mad.
I can say whatever on the show now. My mom's never coming back. She's
Mrs. Tate Frazier.
I mean, see,
your mom
Mrs. Frazier.
Mrs. Frazier, we was just playing.
Wait, is Billy Kane Frazier? That's your mom?
Yeah.
Oh man, Billy followed me on Instagram. She followed me on Instagram, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on, man. Mrs.
She
Frazier.
might have unfollowed.
Miss Frazier, we was just playing.
We were just joking.
We was just playing.
Don't be.
By the way, it's not us that said it. It was
William Thorpe.
She unfollowed him too.
Yeah, William Thorpe is the one that said it was the essence of white supremacy and rooting for the Confederate soldiers. I was just quoting what William Thorpe told the Fayetteville.
Hey, we're rooting for Dean Smith.
Right. Charlie Scott, man. University of North Carolina has a very good tradition. They integrated well before a lot of other schools in the South. This is true.
Okay, so who is the class at the ACC? Is it Virginia?
Man.
Georgia Tech,
right?
Georgia Tech. Louisville's
in the conversation.
Louisville's in the conversation. And do we feel like Louisville and Georgia Tech have been tested on the field like Miami has been?
No, not at all.
Right. So that's why I'm asking. I mean, the team that's in the driver's seat right now is certainly Georgia Tech. I mean, they're undefeated. But if we're saying the class of the conference, have those teams been tested like Miami? I mean, Miami's losses aren't actually to what a lot of people would think are the best teams on their schedule. They're not. But at the same time, they do have wins like the win over Notre Dame. They do have wins. Some of the other wins now, you look at them and they maybe don't mean as much. A loss to Florida means a lot. A loss to SMU means a lot. But it seems like that ACC picture, as far as the power structure in that conference, there's a lot of questions. Every team has a lot of questions.
The thing is, though, I don't think there's any way that they can make up for it. Because first of all, they don't control their own destiny in the conference right now. So they're behind Georgia Tech, Virginia, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh only has one loss.
Pittsburgh is playing fantastic football.
They're playing great. They're playing great, and they got to play Pittsburgh at the end of the year. That is not a win for them necessarily, okay? And then they're behind SMU. Obviously, SMU's got one loss in Duke, and they're tied with Virginia Tech and Wake Forest. So if Miami can't make the ACC championship game, they're definitely not going to the playoffs. They don't have enough wins. I think at this point, I know Billy, our boy Billy, man, he's talking about Miami, man. I don't know if that hurt him or not, but he's an FIU kid, so he don't give a shit about them boys. But
Billy hit us with the 8% chance to make the playoff. That's what ESPN is saying. Yeah,
the 8% chance, man. So I don't know, bro. I mean, and that's why I'm saying Mario Cristobal next year. I don't know what that buyout goes down to. Right now, it's at $61 million. Okay. I don't think Miami's laced like that. They're not about to pay what the other teams are going to play.
If Miami is out of the playoff right now, is Notre Dame out of the playoff?
I mean, by transitive property, you would say yes, but they're definitely not.
Even by transitive property, right? Because Notre Dame, if Notre Dame would have went out right now, I mean,
they struggled against Boston College today. It was not a pretty game.
Man.
But if they were to win out and Miami were to win out, right? If both teams were to win out, you have a 2-loss Notre Dame team, you have a 2-loss Miami team, you have a head-to-head matchup where Notre Dame lost to Miami, right? Mm-hmm. How could you possibly put them into the playoff and not have Miami into it? This matchup right here, this result, Miami dropping a couple of games, that must be disastrous for Notre Dame fans. But I want to hear what you have to say, Joe. Like, what do you mean?
No, I mean, I think because it was the first week of the season, so they're going to look back. Oh, okay, first week of the season, we thought Clemson and LSU were good. First week of the season, we thought Florida State was going to be good. I think by this point, you kind of got to throw week one out as a factor.
What?
Yeah, you got to throw it out. Also, they lost by 3 Notre Dame lost by 3 first week of the season. They had a brand new quarterback. He had not started before. I mean, it was like that's a respectable loss under the circumstances. These are totally different teams now, and their resumes are totally different.
And they may use the Florida State game as a way to kind of point to that week one's a little bit different, right? Because Florida State waxes Alabama, and they haven't won an ACC game yet.
Yeah,
there's only one problem with what you guys are saying, is that sure, Notre Dame's loss isn't as bad as what it would have seemed like at the beginning of the season, but they also don't have any real big wins to supplement that loss with, right? So it would be different if Notre Dame in a couple of weeks played Ohio State and then they beat Ohio State, or if Notre Dame in a couple of weeks played Ole Miss or Georgia or whomever and they beat one of these teams. Notre Dame doesn't have a great win right now. And if you look at the rest of the schedule, they have some good wins. Don't get me wrong. If you look at the rest of the schedule, USC, right. It's a good win, right? Don't get me wrong. If you look at the rest of the schedule, there's not a great win for them to be had. However, Miami, despite the fact that they've had some losses that are bad, Notre Dame has two good losses. Miami has 2 bad losses, but Miami also has a good win over Notre Dame. So it would be very difficult for Notre Dame to have to go through the whole season and not really have a great win, not really beating anybody that was great, right? I give them credit for the USC victory. And then be put into the playoff over a team that beat them. Doesn't matter what week the game was played in. They played the football game. There was a final score, there was a winner, and there was a loser. The best thing for Notre Dame to get in as a 2-loss team would have been for Miami to continue to be a dominant team throughout the season. But if they're 2 mediocre or mediocre, slightly above average teams sitting there right now, the head-to-head would have to matter. You guys don't think so?
Well, it might matter, and then neither one of them will make it, because I think it's not even a question. I think at this point, unless a whole bunch of teams lose ahead of them, if they can't even play in the ACC championship game, there's no way they're going to make the playoff, right? And at that rate, then I guess if Notre Dame still has 2 losses, and then you got to presume there's going to be some other team like Vandy. Like let's say Vandy wins out, right? They've got 2 losses. You're probably going to pick Vandy over those 2 teams at this point, right?
Maybe. Let me look. Let's look at what Vandy has done, right? So Vandy beat LSU. That's trash bags McGillicuddy. All right, you know you like that, huh? You like that?
I like that. That's right.
You fuck with that. Like you like it.
Trash bag McGillicuddy. I like that.
Well,
I can't wait nasty. I
can't wait to find what you love and just grind it. Okay, so if we look at so look, if we look at Vandy's schedule, Vandy has. What? If we look at Vandy's schedule, they beat South Carolina. South Carolina was ranked number 11 at the time. We know that they're not a top 10, top 15 team. They beat LSU, number 10 team, not a top 10, top 15 team. They lost to Alabama. They lost to Texas. Their other win is over Missouri. All right. So if you look at Vandy's schedule, I give Vanderbilt a whole shit ton of credit. A shit ton of credit for what it is that they've accomplished thus far. They have Auburn, Kentucky, and Tennessee to finish out. But I would look at it right now and say that, look, a 2-loss Vandy isn't a lock for the playoff. Not to me. Not with what I'm seeing right now. You'd have to take the totality of a lot of other things that happen. But I'm looking at this right now, and I'm seeing Vanderbilt against the 2, I guess, toughest teams that they play. I wouldn't say that Texas was the toughest team, but it's a tough game playing at Texas. They were down pretty big in that game. Furious finish to come back, but I don't know. All of this stuff is kind of it's just out there in the ether right now. I don't know what to make of Vandy right now in their playoff chances if they can win out.
I guess the thing is maybe what I mean. You're right about Vandy specifically, but they're going to be a lot of 2-loss teams at the end of the year. I assume
it's going to be so much litigation. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of trying to argue out. I mean, you can obviously win any argument, but it's going to be tough.
And Miami is going to be at the bottom of that argument because they're probably not even going to make the conference championship game, and it'll just be too tough. They'll take whoever the ACC champ is. They'll get one of those 4 buys or whatever, or one of the slots for the conference champ, and then it'll be whatever the next best ranked team, or maybe one of the title game loser, or
which feels like Louisville, right?
Else.
Louisville, will probably be that team if Georgia Tech handles business, right?
Right, and Louisville got them, so yeah, man, I think pretty much for Miami it's over, and man, it's just Mario Cristobal, man, I mean, that dude. I
get it that they're on the ropes. I can't, just with the way things are going right now, I cannot say that it's over. I
You're
can't say
saying
that
it's too
it's
much
over.
chaos, right, man? I mean, you're saying that
It's-
there's so many
yeah.
things that are going to happen ahead of them that maybe it does break their way.
Yeah, I mean, you even look today. Georgia is, in my opinion, Georgia's a 4th and 2 or 4th and 1 conversion away from having a loss put on them today. You know, Ole Miss is playing right now. We see how this game turns out. That's going to be a game that I think is going to be a little bit competitive right there between Ole Miss and South Carolina. It's just a lot of football left to be played. If you were Miami, you'd have to think that there's still a chance. But if you were a team that Miami beat, you'd have to think, I don't know, like what the hill you climb on that is. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. One big reaction for me, game of inches. Pull up the Any Given Sunday speech right now from Al Pacino. Great speech, great moment. Yeah. Van's turning the game of inches to the pause of the week. But yeah, game of inches is really the speech, and it felt like that was the storyline in this Vandy game at the end. What an incredible moment there with that onside kick. That was total drama. Felt like it was going to be the perfect moment for Pavia to get a chance to go down, maybe score a touchdown, give themselves an opportunity to go to overtime, but the ball just never gets corralled, ends up going out of bounds. And Sarkisian, I mean, you could see the relief in his face after that game for them to be able to sneak out and win that game. So maybe that will also bolster the Vandy argument. They were that close to coming back in a game that felt like it was completely over at one point.
Yeah. Oh. Joe, you going to go?
Yeah, no, go ahead. I was going to say, I mean, it really speaks well of Vandy, man, that because I think
they wouldn't die.
There's two things I came out of this game thinking. I was like, man, Vandy's not overly talented. Like you could just kind of see the difference between a 4 and 5 star roster and a 2.5 to 3 star roster. And I was like, they're really just stitching it together, and they're very tough. And obviously they're resilient. They did not go away and had a chance to win this game at the end. But I was like, well, I just didn't think they were overly talented. And then with Texas, I was just like, man, they're really on a tightrope. Like, it's just like they're just begging for somebody to knock them out of the playoff race, because they're just like, for the first 3.5 quarters, they look almost like the team that people said that they were going to be this season, right? Like Arch looked great. They could run the ball a little bit. The defense had held down Vandy, and then all of a sudden it imploded in on them. And I'm just like, man, that's the kind of the Texas Longhorn story, like coming up short, disappointing their fans in a big spot, and they managed to hold on. And I'm just like, they've got what it takes. They really do, but I just kind of wonder if they'll be able to keep pulling it off this way the rest of the year. It just feels like eventually they're gonna get got playing like that.
This is such a ridiculous thing to say. It's such a silly thing to say. Texas doesn't seem like a very tough team. Mm-hmm. They played with a lot of precision today, and they really executed. And what they showed everybody out there was that on any given Saturday, with the amount of talent that exists at Texas, they can execute properly and be a problem for sure. Mm-hmm. That's Arch, that's Wisner, that's everybody, right? That's what they have on the edge. That's what they have on the front and the back side of the defense. All kinds of stuff, Your Wingo and Livingston got jiggy today, right? Arch had a big day. But there is something about Texas that they play to the level of their opponent, and they don't seem to be able to really impose their will on the team across the line of scrimmage from them. And maybe there are fewer teams in college football that can impose their will on their opposition than there ever have been. But they just did not finish that game. As much as they finished the game against Mississippi State, which is a team that they had way more talent than, that's how much they didn't finish this game today. And they are one squiggly ball onside kick recovery away from really being in a puckered asshole situation at the end of that game.
Through the hands of Parker Livingston, by the way.
Through the hands of Parker Livingston.
Man.
Texas is a bewildering college football team because you watch them for 3 quarters and you go, wow, this is the team, like Joel said, that everybody said we were going to be watching. And then all of a sudden, the old team just shows back up again, and they just cannot. Busted coverage, huge play.
Yeah.
just like out executed. And it's almost like Vandy woke up and it clicked back in their head that they could beat this team, and then they started doing it. Credit to Texas, though. They won the football game against a really good football game, and it's a quality win for them.
And we had the controversial 2-point conversion where when you go back, it looked like he didn't quite cross the pylon. So maybe you can do woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know what I mean? If you're a Texas fan, you're like, we shouldn't even been in that position anyway. But again, they were able to survive. The clock ran out. It did feel like they were looking up at the clock, just praying to God that it would hit 0 and the game would be over. And Vandy still had a little bit of fire in their belly, and they were right there for the taking. But Arch Manning, obviously this was the best game he's played. But do we believe that he's actually turned the corner at this point? Joel, I'll go to you first.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that he's turned the corner. This is another thing where I just
Sark said he turned the corner.
This is again, this is another thing I want to give myself some props. Van can roll his eyes or whatever. But remember when I said earlier in the year that Texas was the most dangerous one-loss team there was?
You did.
Because they had the highest potential of getting better over the season. The highest potential. They have a ceiling, right? And you can start to see now that Arch is coming along. Now that Parker Livingston, is not.
I like Livingstone better.
No, that's what Livingstone. Now that we see that he's not going to be their number one receiver, and it's actually going to be Ryan Wingo. Now that the offensive line has a little bit of time to gel, and they still have a championship caliber defense, they still have a lot of room to grow at this point. And so that's why I'm saying Texas, for at least for 3.5 quarters today, we saw that team and they still have a chance. But the one thing that's going to kind of fuck with them, and it's eventually, what is it? The immovable force versus the whatever, what is that saying called?
The unstoppable force meets the immovable object.
There you go. Thank you. At Georgia in 2 weeks.
Right.
I mean, so it's somebody's got to, it's going to be obviously.
And that's the team that Arch that finished number 2 in his race, right? I mean, it was Georgia versus Texas. So, I mean, there's another underlying story there where maybe Arch can send a message in that game. We'll see.
It's going to be. It's going to be
right now. You think Texas is a more dangerous, a better team than Notre Dame?
Oh, man, it's just they can't be.
You just said it.
Well, yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? This is my problem. You just said it. That's what you just said.
Okay, no.
And that was Van's answer to give everybody the background. Van said the most dangerous one-loss team is a 2-loss Notre Dame.
If Texas and Notre Dame had to play against each other, FanDuel probably makes Texas the favorite, right?
I don't think so.
Really?
No.
I think Texas would be the favorite, man.
Really?
I think when Texas the favorite against Vandy today?
Who's the home team?
And Vandy's number 9? Yeah, I mean, yeah. They were the favorite over Vandy today.
I don't think so. But I will say this. When we said that, there weren't as many Ole Miss scores. When we said that, there weren't as many one-loss teams as there are now. There's a bunch of one-loss teams now. You said the most dangerous one-loss team is Texas. Is Texas more dangerous than Georgia? Is Texas more dangerous than Oregon? Is Texas more dangerous than Alabama? No. I win. Tate, next subject.
No.
At the time, by the way, we thought Alabama, they weren't even in the conversation as the most dangerous one-loss team. I think we did bring them up kind of as an afterthought, but right now that would probably be the right answer, right? Got to be Alabama.
It has to be Alabama, right? Yeah. By far.
Yeah. I just think Texas has. They have the most room to grow. They've got the most talent.
Man, shout out to my dad, man. Shout out to my dad. So let me tell you what my dad told me one time. My dad was arguing with one of my uncles, and my uncle said something, and my dad proved that he was wrong. My dad goes, "Son, you know what this is called right here? You know what your uncle got? Your Uncle Ray? So your Uncle Ray is suffering from a case of dickhead momentum."
See, man, get out of here.
And I was like, what is that? He was like, dickhead momentum is when you know you're wrong. But you have to continue in the argument anyway.
No. I'm right.
Too far.
Joel is going to end this show this season with an Arch Manning jersey on at this rate. He's going to have to defend Texas to the point that he is actually a Texas fan.
Now, see, Tate, I was trying to keep Van off of you on the Henderson.
No,
I was
trying
to keep Van off of you. Now, look what you did. I was like, man, Wayne, don't be calling Tate the essence, man. Now look at you, Tate.
I'm just saying, I think you got to defend Texas at this point to prove your point.
No, I'm defending Texas because I'm sincere in my belief that I think that they've got the most talent and they have the most opportunity. You remember how Ohio State at this point last year, and even going into the playoffs, people were like, man, they've let everybody down. They're not as good as everybody thinks they are. They're not as good as the sum of their parts. And then they put it together in the playoffs, right? And I think, I mean, I don't know. Like, do you think Arch and Will Howard, like, they're about what? Who would you take if you had to pick between Arch Manning and Will Howard?
Fucking Will Howard.
You sure?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man.
Joe, what are you doing? Joe,
I would not say no. I don't know if I would take no Will Howard over Arch Manning, man. I really don't.
Bro,
you think Will Howard's that
Joel,
good?
Joel,
Will Howard was that good?
Joel, hold on, Joel, you're doing it. I'm not following. No, because this is what you like to do. See, Joe, you guys, Joel
Will Howard's
knows.
a winner.
Joel,
he was at Kansas State.
He
Joel
knows that he can
get
get me. Joel is one of the people that can get me. Joel know damn well that he's not about to compare Will Howard, who quarterbacked the team, to a national championship, to a guy that's had 1.5 good games. Joel knows he can't do that.
I mean,
he knows he can't do that.
It's just funny because again, if it had been like old times when they didn't have a playoffs, Will Howard and Ohio State would have ended last season, and people have been like, "What a tremendous disappointment! They're not going to make it to the playoffs. They're not going to, whatever." They would the whole narrative about Ohio State and Will Howard last season and how successful they are would have been totally different if that season had happened in any year other than last year. Okay, and so that's what I'm saying. Like
the last thing we would remember was Jack Sawyer with trying to fight Michigan.
They're embarrassing themselves. I'm saying Arch Manning has been getting better every game. The offensive line is coming together. Today is like when you could see the things that people said that Texas might end up being. Now, again, they gave up the ghost at the end, and that's what makes
this is Brian Curtis's favorite episode.
Hey,
right
bro,
now.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. If Joe Jackson wouldn't have made his kids sing and dance, Michael Jackson would have been the weirdest vice lord in Gary, Indiana. All right, so it's
shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary, man. Shout out to
Gary,
Freddie
Indiana.
Gibbs. Shout out to Gary. If y'all ever been to Gary, shout out to Gary. Don't fuck around.
My sister's from Gary, man.
But what I'm telling you is
Joel's been everywhere.
It happened.
Yeah, nice.
Joel,
Hammond, right next to Hammond. They got Hammond, Indiana got a really good Mexican restaurant, man. Not been pretty good. Hammond? You been to Hammond?
I just love it. I love Joel. You have a touch point in every city we name. It's so good.
Love Hammond, man. I support that.
Look at the ghost of Shane Beamer out on the field, still coaching.
Yeah.
Go for it, Shane.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Tennessee looks amazing, man. I feel like I've got to get to a game in Neyland Stadium someday, man. I got to get to Knoxville because this stadium is amazing. That whole scene. I don't know when they started realizing they could turn off the lights at a night game and had a little shit going on, the little lights.
Oh, like the light show and all of the LEDs.
They got the black uniforms on. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a good look. You brought up Will Howard, which leads me to my one big question, because we need to talk about this team. And I feel like a lot of people that had YouTube TV watched this game because they couldn't watch the ESPN property. So the question is simple. Is Jeremiah Smith the best player in college football right now? Ooh. Today, he had another incredible game. 6 catches, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tate was also great in this game as well. But the one-handed catch that he had in this game, I know it was against a very lifeless Penn State team, but he's had some incredible moments, and I do feel like we're not talking enough about Jeremiah Smith. Van, do you believe he's the best player in college football?
I think he's certainly the most talented. I think he has a combination of physical gifts that put him in the top 1% of prospects that I've seen, right? It's nuts, right? It's like they took all of the past Ohio State wide receivers, particularly of the last 5 years, the physicality of Harrison, the twitchiness of Olave and some of these other guys, and they put them all into one guy, and that guy is Jeremiah Smith, right? So he's a freak. He's a freak.
Emeka Egbuka,
Jackson Smith and Jigba, man.
Jackson Smith and Jigba, all of the
so many good receivers.
They got their treasure trove of names that they've had there. All of the names that they've had.
And they got Chris Henry Jr. coming, right?
He had 2 touchdowns against the #1 ranked team in the country last night.
I'm excited.
So they took all of those guys and they put them into one guy, and that seems to be Jeremiah Smith. Like, he's the culmination of all the athletic talent that has been around there, the wide receiver talent that they've had. Yeah, I think that the bigger question to me, not the bigger question, the bigger story is Ohio State and what they're doing. And the fact that because of some happenings in the Big Ten, Ohio State essentially gets, and this is not a diss, but they essentially get live scrimmages every Saturday to figure out
not a
what
diss,
probably is. It's not a diss, but what I'm
Yeah,
telling you
live
is,
scrimmage.
No, it's real.
but listen though, Ohio State came into the season, right? And they're a team with talent everywhere, but they're working on a brand new quarterback. And normally, if they had like a real meat grinder of an early schedule, then what would have happened is you might have put that quarterback in some really high leverage situations that might have slowed the development. Maybe the team gets nicked up, has a couple of losses, you're doing some different things, but that hasn't happened. What's happened is some of the teams that we thought were going to be real tests for Ohio State have not been tests. And so every single week they come back and they open up the playbook a little bit more. They trust guys a little bit more. They test things a little bit more. And they're doing all of this against teams that I'm not acting like, when I say live scrimmage, I mean, they just haven't been on the field with a team that can really push them. And that's helping them. That's helping them find a team identity. That's helping Sayin grow as a quarterback. And when it comes time for playoff time, I think you're going to see not just a dominant defense, but a complete dominant team that's going to be playing as good as they could possibly play. And it's happening every single week. Now, of course, it would be great if they could be tested because you got to dig deep a little bit, but they're just putting more trust in their guys because really every time they go out, it's a game that they should really win.
Yeah, man. I mean, the good thing about it, man, is like you said, they're getting to develop depth. They're getting to get all these young guys and all
Exactly.
they're getting all these reps. They're gonna have a lot of guys and figure out, okay, maybe you need to be flipped over to right guard instead of left guard. Or maybe you play, maybe you're not a good slot corner. Like maybe we should move you on the outside, stuff like that. They're getting to figure all that out. I try not to get too cute about Ohio State because I don't want to pretend like I've been watching them because like Van said,
I watched them the most I have today because of the
Yeah.
YouTube TV situation. So I basically watched that whole game. So I came away very impressed with Jeremiah Smith.
I see them on like the key plays, like at the YouTube TV again. YouTube TV again.
Come on,
But
YouTube TV.
That's mostly how I see them because you look at the game and it's like, well, man, I'm not gonna put them in one of my 4 boxes on the multi-view. But yeah, I mean, to your point, I think he's probably, I think Jeremiah Smith is probably the best player in the country. But I just want to say, Colin Simmons, man, that dude really,
God
that's
damn,
a bad
boy.
motherfucker, man.
That
And
motherfucker, that crazy, bro.
I'm gonna say something that's crazy, and Longhorn
man.
fans, you can correct me. Y'all have never had a dynamic in talent like that, pass rushing talent like that in my lifetime. Who is it? Is it Tony Brackens? It's not Sergio Kendall. It's not, Brian Orakpo. I like he's better than them.
Brian Orakpo was a dog.
I was going to
He was
say
a dog.
Orakpo is probably the best answer, right?
Brian Orakpo was a dog.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But he ain't what Colin Simmons is. Colin Simmons is like, oh okay, like what? I remember Andre Wadsworth. Y'all remember when Andre Wadsworth was in college, man? And he was like that. He was like one of the first like defensive end, well maybe like Courtney Brown. I don't know which one it was. One of them kind of guys. I was just like, God damn, man, like that guy's actually different. Texas has just never had that guy, and now they do. Ooh,
okay. So I just want to read some stuff off real quick. This is Brian Orakpo. So Bronco Nagurski Trophy, Ted Hendricks Award, Lombardi Award, Bill Willis Trophy, unanimous All-American, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year, Big 12 Defensive Freshman of the Year, first team All Big 10. I don't know, Joe.
Where was he? He was a 13th overall pick.
Yeah,
man,
I just four-time Pro Bowler.
I know Orakpo was cold, but I'm just like I feel like Colin Simmons is like a top 3, like just a guy.
You're just saying the archetype of Colin.
You feel like he is that. You feel like I was just giving you the bullshit because when I looked at it, I'm like, I didn't even realize Orakpo.
I didn't know Orakpo was really doing all that.
That's why they gave him that commercial with.
I do remember him. Hold on, I remember him being a freak dog.
For sure.
Like a freaky dog, right?
Do you know who he fucked up? Trent Williams in college, man. Like when he went up against Trent Williams and gave Trent Williams hell when they played against OU.
How many career sacks do y'all think Brian Arakpo had?
72.
66.
Really? God.
It's a good career.
I was gonna say 58.
Oh, I thought you were giving props on the guess.
Man.
That was really good.
This is a good career. He ran a 4.2 40-yard dash at the combine.
What?
Brian Arakpo. Yep.
Like Chris Johnson.
No, really?
No way.
Right here.
He ran a
No,
4.
he did, man. What are you looking at, man? It says 4.6.
I'm looking at a 4. He ran a 4.27.
He ran no 4.27,
40-yard
man.
dash. I'm looking at it right now. He ran a 4.27.
I'm on his Wikipedia page. It says his 39.5-inch vertical jump was second for all defensive linemen, and he showed his speed acceleration while recording a 4.63 40-yard dash time.
Oh shit! I read it.
That motherfucker ain't run no 4.27, man.
I read it. I read it wrong. I read the number wrong.
What?
I read a number wrong.
Damn right.
I read it wrong. I'm looking at it right now.
Damn.
But hey, bro. But you know what else? I like 25 on the Wonderlic. So stop acting like we can't.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I think, you know
who
what?
would have the highest Wonderlic score of us three?
Man, Tate? No, hold on, Van, real quick.
What are you going to say?
He's from Nigeria. His parents are immigrants from Nigeria. You know how, like, Texas got that Acho Arakpo archetype where they be having, you know what I'm saying? How them Africans, man, they be about, I mean, black people are enablers too, like American black people. Don't get me twisted. Nothing wrong with us. That racism wouldn't cure. Curing racism wouldn't solve. There's nothing wrong with black people that curing racism wouldn't solve. I'm just saying, but you know, it's just you giving them that. I'm just like, it's just like that kind of that. You know, presentable.
I said that Brian Arakpo had a high Wonderlic score.
Why?
And I was happy to see that.
IQ world. Who are you
and
supposed to be? Charles Murray?
What do you want to do? Because that he's Nigerian. Joel, if Tate had said that, that would be the essence.
I would be over.
Oh, yeah.
It would be over. It'd be a wrap. But Brian Arakpo, shout out to him. He's a great player. And I will say, just bringing up Colin Simmons, like back to the Ohio State of it all. I mean, that Texas win is now aging well. At first, it felt like that Texas win was not going to age well for Ohio State, but it's definitely aging well at this point. And I will point out, Heisman odds right now, courtesy of FanDuel, Julian Sayin is the favorite, plus 200 to win the Heisman. Do we think that's right? Because I feel like if I have to give it to somebody, it's someone on the defense or it's Jeremiah Smith. But it does feel like Julian Sayin is getting all the buzz right now. Maybe it's just a quarterback award, but is that shocking,
Big Daddy Simpson? He's not. Where is he at?
He is third right now.
Third? Really? What happened?
Mendoza's second.
Yeah, Mendoza definitely deserves to be second.
Man, it's just crazy because once again, Mendoza is just. I mean, I guess like they had to win against Oregon, and that's really cool. But it's just like you haven't. I don't know. There hasn't been a lot of friction in their season so far.
But if you go to Heisman.com, they have like the fan ratings, right, or rankings. Yeah. Like you can vote, and the fans have number 1 Marcel Reed, number 2 Haynes King. That's what the fans are saying.
Haynes King
is number 2.
Some people are saying that Haynes King might not have the gaudy enough passing numbers to kind of get there at the end, but like He's having a fantastic season. I feel like
7-7 right now. NC State, Georgia Tech.
Oh yeah,
Georgia Tech just scored.
Georgia Tech just scored. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I'll have you know something. That I'm looking at the highest Wonderlic scores in history.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, right?
Ryan Fitzpatrick has a 48. Pat McNally, whatever his name is, he had a 50. He got a 50.
Whoa!
But right here at 48.
Yeah.
Benjamin Watson.
Oh, tight end.
Oh, that's your new favorite follow.
That's
right?
one of my favorite follows. Benjamin Watson.
I do like Ben Watson. Good player.
Virginia. I like Benjamin Watson. He is one of the good conservative type brothers out there that isn't doing all. I'm not gonna get into politics, but he's like, I like Ben Watson. But here you are right now saying his name is not in any way.
Oh,
Benjamin
stop bringing that up. Let that go, man. I thought we had moved on, dog. We had moved on, player.
Ben Watson went to Duke.
Let's move on.
And then he transferred to Georgia.
Why are we still talking about the IQ test, man? Look, we don't even have to do an IQ test. What was y'all SAT score?
14.
You don't want to fuck with me on that. Yeah,
okay.
You don't want to fuck with me. You don't want to fuck with me. I was like, that test shit, I was the man.
Okay.
I was the man on that shit. Some of the other shit, no. But that test shit. I mean, people got better about it. You got 1490 though, Tate?
Yeah, but that was the 3 parts.
Tate?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
got
So you
1490?
wait out of 3? So with the writing?
With the writing, yeah. Or sorry, 1490 regular, and then with the writing, it was like.
Oh,
what is it?
okay.
Yeah.
I was
sorry.
like, damn, man,
So
you barely would have been eligible.
Tate came
I
through
was
with the
like,
motherfucking 1490.
that's really good, man. Okay.
No,
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
I there were like 4 people in my class that got better than me, so it's all good.
What we gonna do if
What's happening right here, guys?
if
What's
Tate,
it like-
if Tate has the
Tate,
highest?
Tate,
did you beat
Tate.
1490, fan?
I did not beat 1490.
Wow.
Or we had 2 guys at our school that beat that score. It was Steven Zuber and Gary Lee, who both got double 16. They got 1600s on the SAT. 2 guys.
Yeah,
in the
we had
same
a
class.
1530 in our class.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
But they wasn't no
Tate.
Steven Zuber though. Hold on for a second. I didn't say 1530. I said 1600. They wasn't no Steven Zuber. They wasn't no Gary Lee. I'm repping for my people at McKinley High School.
Shout
But no, that's important. Tate. Good, I guess.
Tate, why did you go to North Carolina? I don't, I mean, you had a great score. Not that North Carolina, it's one of the best public institutions in the country. See, Vin's instigating, man. Stop. Hey,
Tate,
I always try to put
with
the
that
five
type of
out
score,
I applied to
with-
Northwestern. Like I really
Tate,
wanted to go
with
to
that type of
Northwestern.
score,
That was my.
you could have
could've
gone
got-
to any school. What drew you specifically to North Carolina? Was there a specific
Family.
essence?
I wanted to be. I wanted
Oh,
to
man,
be at
dog.
North Carolina for North Carolina basketball, but I really
Man.
wanted to go to Georgia. Georgia was my #1 school. I wanted to go to Georgia, go to the journalism school, go to a football school. My family had to talk me out of it. They were like, "You're not going to Georgia." I went to Sanford Stadium for the first time. I was like, "I'm going to Georgia."
Man.
Wow.
So wait,
Tough.
what happened? Why didn't you go to Georgia?
Because honestly, how much it costs. You know what I mean? I got a scholarship. You know, it was
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you got family legacy in North
There you
Carolina,
go.
man.
That's
right.
Okay, I'm just saying.
1982. Shout out to my mom.
That's right.
Yeah,
She
shout-
not
hey,
listening.
Yeah, Billy
Shout out
Kane,
to
man.
her.
Come on, Miss Frazier. Come back, man. Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
Oh man.
Tennessee OU game 7-0. A lot of games on right now. Ole Miss is in a competitive game right now with South Carolina.
I like how Tate, man. Anytime we start talking that shit about North Carolina, he's like, you gotta bring Ole Miss up.
Yeah.
He was like, man, Ole Miss. I was like, it's funny, man, because you're right. I mean, fuck Ole Miss on that shit. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it. I get it.
Of these games that's in the late slate, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Purdue, Michigan, another interesting game. Georgia Tech, NC State, Oklahoma, Tennessee. All of these are intriguing games. Which one is the most important to you guys for how things are going to shake out? Is it Ole Miss trying to stave off that second loss, or like
Georgia Tech, NC State has my attention because Georgia Tech has to keep it together for the ACC. So
Wait, hold
I'm
on.
locked in on that game.
Oklahoma, Tennessee is a playoff elimination game.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever loses, it's lose or go home, basically.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
if Oklahoma loses for sure, it's a wrap. It's
Man,
over.
Oklahoma's not look good, man. I mean, again, I don't like to talk about it in this way, but I saw people talking about, man, Brent Venables, man. I don't know if he's gonna make it. You know, because Oklahoma has a hard end of the year, man. Their schedule is actually.
They still got Alabama coming up.
Yeah, bro. Like they got a lot ahead of them, man. So it's unlikely, given the losses they've already taken, that they were going to win out anyway. This might be, the easiest game will probably be LSU at the end of the year. But man, they've got Tennessee, Alabama, and Missouri. Yeah, well, I mean, that's
all right. Let's just talk about it now. Let's just talk about it.
Can we talk about LSU?
LSU's the only unranked team on their schedule.
Let's just talk about it now. Okay, let me put it to you out like this. I have a feeling that you're going to see a different LSU team in the next couple of weeks. I'm not saying that there's not another loss in there.
Spicy.
I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying right now is when I saw Frank Wilson up there talking about the team, it seems like the team is committed and focused, and I think you're going to see good football being played. We'll see whether or not that materializes and wins. I will say this, though, and this is very serious, and sometimes I tend to get serious when I'm talking about LSU, and I don't like this. I don't like coming across preachy or dogmatic or anything like that. Yeah. What's happening right now in LSU, in Louisiana, as far as the search for a head coach goes, is such a slap in the face to the LSU football fans. The disarray, the disorganization, the politics, the cronyism, the factions that have arisen is since the firing of since the firing of Brian Kelly. I guess you could say since the firing.
I was going to say maybe since Les Miles.
Yeah. Since the firing of Brian Kelly and Joe Sloan, has been legitimately the worst parts of things happening in Louisiana. The worst parts of it. It harkens back to a time where political forces, semi-corrupt political forces, or political forces that were operating with their own agendas, completely skirted over the will and the want and the need of the fan base to connect with their team, and just are doing whatever it is that they want to do. The way that the governor has inserted himself into this and used this as a political platform in some way to stand out and to launch him into being something that he's not right now, which is a national political figure that people talk about.
He was on Pat McAfee, Van. I mean, it's
all
crazy.
all the while, people are wondering, what is it going to take to get a good candidate to come down there and change LSU football? We are looking for love and fun. It's so indicative of what's happening right now. We're looking for love, fun, culture, and connection. That's what we're looking for when we're rooting for LSU football. And what we're getting are politics, games, and a bunch of mess. The governor needs to get out of this. Stop running away clients and people that might want to take this job, and let the people that make football decisions make football decisions. It's difficult. I know this is difficult. The AD is out. We don't have a president. All of that stuff is going on. But this is not a game. This is something that could ruin Brian Landry. This could ruin, I keep saying the wrong names. This could ruin Landry, not just as the governor of Louisiana. This could ruin Landry in the state. Could ruin him in the state. I've never seen a more breathtaking political miscalculation than him thinking that he was going to get in the middle of this and it some way was going to work out for him. It has annoyed everyone. There were football coaches hitting my line going, you have no idea how much harder the governor just made it for LSU to find a worthy candidate to come in and coach the team.
And you think that's because obviously just him inserting himself, but then too, him calling out Jimmy Sexton, CAA, like calling out these. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Bro, what the hell is going on? Calling out Jimmy Sexton. If you guys don't know who Jimmy Sexton is, I'm not sure why you will be watching the show, but if you don't know who Jimmy Sexton is, he is the central coaching power broker in the entire infrastructure of college football. Has so many different coaches, so many different clients. As
Sarkisian.
Lane
Kiffin.
I mean, he had Sayin.
Sayin, all of these guys. It's almost to the point to where if Jimmy Sexton didn't want your program to get a good coach, it would be hard for you to get one. It would be very difficult for you to get one. And the governor comes out and takes this guy on. He looked like a cute little baby wabbit who didn't know what the fuck he was doing. My phone was blowing up. People were so upset and so mad. Landry, move back to the shadows, man. Move back to the shadows. Like, go do what you always do. Make the black people of Louisiana's lives harder. Go do that stuff that you're good at. But move away. Football is not your thing, baby. Football is not your thing.
Maybe you need him to lift this fuck up so things can improve. Maybe his popularity rating will go down and everything. Maybe you need him involved. But here's the thing. I'll just say this. Do you really think? I don't know. And we talked about it on the last show. Lane Kiffin. I don't have any inside source on this, but he seems like more of a Florida guy, and like he would want to follow in the example of Spurrier, or he would stay home at Ole Miss. So let's say you don't get Lane Kiffin, and that probably was unlikely anyway. Do you really think somebody that really wants to be at LSU and thinks it can be something would stay away? Because I feel like they would have to think, man, by June, this guy's not even going to be thinking about this no more. He's going to be out of this. He's going to be out of the mix. There'll be a new sport, there'll be a new athletic director. Although, I think firing Scott Woodward, man, maybe he did not get it right with Brian Kelly, even though I think it was an inspired hire. But, the baseball coach, the women's basketball coach.
Yeah, Kim Mulkey skipped the press conference because of it, right?
Yeah, Woodward, by the way, just to let you guys know, Woodward one of us.
Yeah, man. He's from there. Baton Rouge Catholic, right?
From there, Catholic high school.
He might run for governor.
Stuff. Woodward's one of us. Say whatever you want about Woodward, and not everybody has glowing reviews of him, but he has won at LSU. Now, football needs to get to a situation where we can be dominant, but we have had national championships in women's basketball. We've seen LSU, the product of LSU. We've seen the LSU athlete take on a different like name of its own. Think about the LSU athletes, the people that have come out of LSU in the last 3 or 4 years. Think about Livy Dunn, Skeens. Think about Angel Reese. Think about the Flage. Think about the
Neighbors.
Neighbors, Jaden Daniels. Think about what LSU sports means in the national sports deal. All of that is part of a movement. There are documentaries that have come out. There's ways, there's PR, there's ways that you cover things. All of that is part of an intelligentsia to make us a national brand. And Woodward's been a part of that.
Yep.
Like Jeff Landry right now is the Jordan Hudson of LSU sports. He is.
They about the same size.
Somebody that literally is getting in the fucking way, that is going, look at me, look at me, look at me, and trying to control things behind the scenes and really not doing anything but making a whole bunch of fucking noise. And just like her, he probably needs to take a step back. That's all I'm saying.
I think Van created, like when someone would be really good at something, you someone that could draw well, you'd be like, he's the Michael Jordan of drawing or the Michael Jordan of whatever. Now you just created, when someone's terrible at something, they're the Jordan Hudson of whatever they're doing. So
disruptive force, an off-field disruptive force. Yeah.
An off-field disruptive force. That's what he is. Stop disrupting. We need this hire to go right, man. Jeff Landry, like, we need this hire to go right. And by the way, everybody that they've named for the job,
Summerall did not look good. Yeah.
Woo! Stubbed their toe in a major way.
They got their ass beat in San Antonio, man.
And kind of acted a little bit like someone that wasn't ready for the pressure of the LSU job after the game, Like there was a lot of finger pointing going on. So like Summerall did not sell himself very well if he's the guy in state right now from Tulane to go down there. So like that wasn't a good thing. So like, I mean, who is they said the LSU interim AD has quote unquote full authority on the football hire. But like who is the
I'm not about to get it. I was about to say.
Who's the call? Who do they call first, man? I mean, obviously Nick Saban has been okay. Call everybody.
Call everybody. You've heard the Nick Saban rumors. Nobody knows if the Nick Saban stuff is true. There was a rumor. I don't know if you guys heard the rumor. The rumor is that they offered Nick Saban, I think, like $15 or $20 million a year for 3 years. Come in there, be the coach, and then he's gonna go and choose his successor after that. That's been floating around. Nobody knows if that's true. That sounds like bullshit. Just to let you know,
it does.
That sounds like a bunch of horse shit.
They said he was going to have $30 million for the roster. Anytime I hear like any of that stuff, I'm like, that sounds like bullshit.
Right, that sounds like bullshit. Once again, as far as the hire is concerned, I mean, you're starting to see Kelvin Shepherd really start to move people, and people are starting to wonder if that is the way that you go.
He said he was a liger. He said he was a tiger and a lion in one. It was a great press conference. He said he bleeds LSU. He keeps up with every game. I thought Shepherd really sold himself. I mean, I know that wasn't the angle, but it got me a little bit. I was like, he might be the guy.
After I watched that, it completely changed the way I looked at him as a candidate for the job. And if you hear from people inside the building, sometimes when I say inside the building here is LSU culture. If you hear from people that play with him, people that know him, people that have been around him, people that have watched his career, they speak so highly of him. It would not be the worst hire in the world to hire him. But I'll tell you something. It's a fucking high leverage hire. Mm-hmm. Because if it doesn't go right, there are so many things that are wrapped up in that hire. There is just to let you guys know, there is a social and a racial component to a black coach struggling as the full-time coach of LSU. Obviously, we've seen Brad Davis coach the team. Frank Wilson is the coach of the team now. We've seen interim. We've seen guys coach. But if a black coach were to go to LSU and I want to say leash now, but the leeway that he would have from a large portion of the fan base would be much, much, much different than some of these other guys. So it would be a high leverage hire for a lot of reasons, and not all those reasons are fair.
Yeah, I mean, again, I root for the brothers. I want them to get the opportunity. I want them to have opportunities for jobs like this. Like I get tired of them getting the UABs or the FAUs, right? The jobs that are very difficult where they don't have a lot of resources and they just kind of got to make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Or even
But
like a Fran Brown at Syracuse, right?
yeah, right. I mean,
Brent
that's
Brown, great coach.
great coach, and that's a very difficult job. I just, man, the way the way the politics are in this country right now, and a black coach going down there and struggling, would he get the support? Would he get all the same infrastructure and all that? I don't know. That seems like that'd be really tough. But I mean, no anybody who gets offered that job, you really got to take a serious look at it. You got to take you. I mean, even like Lane Kiffin, I'm sure they're doing their due diligence or whatever because again, everybody understands why LSU is such a coveted job. Then you're not going to lack for anything in terms of resources, for support, any of that other thing, and you've got like as good of a talent recruiting base as anywhere in the country. So it's a job that a lot, as we've seen, people can succeed at it despite not being great coaches, right? Like you don't have to be a great coach to win there. So
last thing I'll say about Kelvin Shepherd, there's one thing to note about him. He is somebody that since he has left the NFL and started his career has done nothing but go this way.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't had the snafu where you've given him an extra title, an extra responsibility, extra duty, and then you found out that he can't handle it. You found out that he can't do it. He was the director of player personnel at LSU. It wasn't like it was something that he did a shitty job at. He was hired as the outside linebackers coach, and he eventually is promoted to the defensive coordinator up there in Detroit. So he's a guy that continuously impresses people and is able to become a valuable part of any organization or any culture, any structure that he's inside. And that means a lot because he would be a coach, a brand new head coach at a really, really, really coveted job. And he'd have some bumps and bruises and he would have to grow. So knowing that he's just always leveled up wherever he's been, I'm not saying he's the guy for the job, but I'm saying that like he does have some momentum right now that I don't think a lot of people expected him to have at this point in the search.
Man, good on Dan Campbell, man. Good promoting the brothers, man. He really has been a ally in that way, man. You just wouldn't, a guy with that makeup from Texas A&M, Dan Campbell being
and
the way
if you watch Hard
it,
Knocks, I mean, he had that great moment with Malcolm Rodriguez. Like, if you wanted to see like an example of Kelvin Shepherd kind of running a room that he's coaching, that linebackers room, he had Malcolm Rodriguez, who at the time was a rookie, and he's just playing his tape, and it was like this great motivational moment where he's like, he's out playing all you guys, like, and he's like, I apologize to put this rookie on the spotlight, but like, if I have to play him, I'll play him. You know what I mean? And it's all these guys in the room that are veterans, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Like,
No, you like that shit? Tate, you like that shit?
I thought it was
fuck
good.
with that.
Yeah,
okay,
that's good. Yeah,
I like Kelvin Shepherd.
I like Kelvin Shepherd too. I like him, but beyond that, you're just gonna hear the same names. You're gonna hear the same names. You're gonna hear all of this stuff that's going on. But we just want we want something that we don't get in Louisiana often. Can we just be normal? Let's just, let's just be normal, man. Let's just have a coaching search where y'all go out there and you get the coach and you do the whole thing. Just like, is we don't need President Trump involved in the search. We don't need Mike Johnson and Steve Bannon forming an exploratory committee, right? We don't need none of that. We don't need y'all to call up Nick Fuentes and see who he want. We don't need y'all to go get, we don't need none of them people, nobody involved in the search like that. All right, we don't care what Stephen Miller think about LSU football. None of that. Don't go do none of it. We don't care what Duke. See, look at you. You've been throwing shade. We don't care about none of that. We want it to be normal, man. Can we just get one thing normal? One thing normal, man.
I'm with it. I'm also fascinated that like Florida, obviously they had their eyes set on Lane Kiffin, but it does feel like Penn State, Florida, LSU. Nobody, like you could spin 100 different webs as to where those searches will go, right? I mean, nobody really knows. Like even Joel Klatt today during the Penn State Ohio State game that I watched the entire game, they asked him about Penn State, and he's like, I don't know who the guy is, I mean, and it does feel like nobody knows.
Their top two candidates, I mean, the ones when they fired James Franklin, which is just sort of weird because I would not imagine that you would fire James Franklin unless you had a bead on a couple of guys. But as soon as they fire Jay Franklin, Signetti signs his extension, and then Rule signs his extension. And I think that's kind of they thought, well,
that was the one. Yeah.
I will point out Matt Rule signed an extension with Baylor before he took the Panthers job about a month before. So just you know, some of that stuff is a little PR.
That's true. But I just kind of feel like if you in college, there's just no need. There's no need to do that. There's just they could have held off.
Rhett Lashley just signed an extension with SMU. Right. Now he's one of the top 10 highest paid coaches in college football. Then follows it up with a win over number 10 Miami. So that was a good look for SMU. But yeah, it is fascinating. None of those jobs are really. There's not a guy.
The good thing about it, though, is like for schools like Arkansas, Virginia Tech, they'll be able to hire because there's not going to be a lot of pressure on them to hire the big name guy. Like all these, the Penn States and the LSUs, they've got to impress people. Like they want to win the press conference, and that allows somebody like Arkansas to come in and get somebody that may not have the profile or the
or
resume.
Virginia Tech with James Franklin.
Absolutely. Give them a chance to get who they really, really want, and build from there.
Arkansas just hire Bobby Petrino now.
Yeah, I agree.
Did they beat Mississippi State? They were. I felt like Mississippi State came back on them. I thought Arkansas had them, and then all of a sudden,
did you guys see what just happened to Aguilar?
No, did he get hurt?
Got punished.
Really?
On that ass. I don't think he's hurt though.
Okay.
Like I'm looking at this commercial right now.
This shit sucks, man. It's like I gotta turn all the way back to the goddamn channel.
I know that's my problem. I'm like, I got too many screens going on. You got the World Series going on as well. There's a lot happening right now. Some quick hitters I wanted to run by you guys. Just point out some stories of the day. West Virginia signature win for Rich Rod, beat number 22 Houston.
As soon as I talked about Willie Fritz, man,
Willie Fritz was brought up as an option for LSU, and then he follows it up with the loss to Rich Rodriguez. But a nice win for West Virginia, 45-35 in that game. Any thoughts? Is there anything to take away from that, Joel? Do you think Willie Fritz is getting hit up, and maybe that's why his eye wasn't on the prize?
Nah, I just think Houston does not have a lot of talent. Like things have gone about as well as that team could with this roster this year. Like they're at the top of it. And there's just not a lot of variance between the teams in the Big 12. Like West Virginia is not good, but they can beat you, right?
Yep. They beat Pitt, and Pitt looks good in the ACC.
Right? Yeah, so I mean, it actually does not surprise me that much that they went out there and lost that game. But yeah, I mean,
isn't the most likely Aguilar.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking. He fumbled, and it's a El Scupo, and now we going to the house. It's a El Scupo. Isn't the most likely? Isn't it the most likely explanation of the whole Willie Fritz thing is that Willie Fritz is a punk motherfucker?
What's wrong with you, man?
That'd be a nice card.
You thought he was a G? You thought he was a G?
Okay. Why you're going after Willie Fritz to get me?
That's his third favorite program.
You're going after Willie Fritz to go after.
Isn't that the most likely thing? Is that Willie Smith he's just a PAN? You know what I'm saying?
He's taking shots. I do want to bring this up to you guys because he's a name that was thrown out there for Penn State. I saw Urban Meyer has said, this is to Kellyanne Stitz. Shout out to Kellyanne for getting the scoop. He said, quote unquote, I don't have a desire to get back into coaching, end quote. Does this make you believe he has more interest than he may be letting on? Or do you think Urban Meyer is actually done? Joel, I'll go to you first. Do you believe Urban Meyer?
I don't think he has anything else left to prove. I don't think it'll be really hard for one of those schools to hire him right now, just because I don't think he wants to be in that. I just don't think he wants to have that kind of scrutiny anymore. Mm-hmm. Clearly he likes to do some shit in his off time. Be at the bar or whatever. I think he likes that. Man, that TV life is a good life, man. They get
That's
to go
the thing
to the
with
game.
him and Saban. It's hard to get these guys. They're getting paid millions of dollars to go on there and just be like, you know what? I like Oklahoma this week.
You get good money. I mean, already coaches that have been in that shit, man, they look at the lay of the land, and I'm happy that the kids get paid. But they're looking at that shit. They're like, man, I got to deal with this NIL shit. I got to deal with the house stuff. The conferences are that much more stacked. It'll be harder to win. I don't want to go through all that. I can make my high, low seven figures on TV and travel and be off the rest of the year and not have to worry about these stupid ass boys. Yeah, I can't imagine Urban Meyer wants to get back in the middle of that no more, man.
You know what? So when you look at some of the other stuff that's going on in coaching and all of that, we talk about Urban Meyer and who he is as a person and all of that. Like getting further away from it, I'm gonna actually agree with Joel for a second that Urban Meyer stuff seems a little quaint compared to some of the other things that we talk about in college football. Yeah, Urban Meyer likes to go to the bar. He likes to find a younger lady and show her the spread offense. But that is not when you look at some of the other stuff that has gone on.
Not that bad, yeah.
Yeah, they're of age. It's nothing crazy. Like you know what I'm saying? He's not. Yeah, it's not like he the best guy in the world. There was the whole circle of trust thing at Florida, and maybe they had a toxic locker room culture. It's a long time ago. A lot of the stuff that these coaches are being accused of, it's not like he's created or committed, should I say, some of the cardinal sins of coaching. Is it? Can you make the argument that sometimes with different teams that maybe Urban Meyer's heart wasn't quite as in it as it should have been? Yeah, of course. But the reality is that when he is dialed in as a coach, he is on the Saban Dabo level without a doubt. He was a thorn in the side of Nick Saban. So the reality is, if he does in fact want to coach, I think he'll have opportunities to do it. Him showing up at Penn State would be an abject nightmare for the rest of the Big Ten.
Yeah, that would scare people.
If he is even 80% as good as he used to be, if the game hasn't passed him by.
You would not be hurt if he went to like if LSU was like, fuck it, man, let's just go ahead and bring Urban in. You'd be hyped about.
I mean, Florida fans would talk themselves into it. I mean, I think anybody, if they got Urban Meyer, they would spin it. It's the same way with Bill Belichick. It's like, you know, you can spin it in the right way until you see the football team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying, for me, it will be tough. It will be tough for LSU right now, just because we're coming off of a coach that everybody fucking hated. And getting another coach that maybe people have like down feelings about might feel a little icky, but I will be into it.
Yeah, I told you, dog. I told you.
I got one other name that's a big name I want to throw out and get your guys' thoughts on him. Not Art Briles. Duke beat Clemson, first 5 loss season since 2010. Dabo Swinney said, if they're tired of winning, I will go somewhere else and win. If you are, let's say, an Auburn, if you're a team that's kind of like, an Arkansas that might get some Tyson chicken money, do you take a swing at Dabo Swinney and you say, he might be a little unhappy at Clemson, maybe we go and, offer him the big money? Do you think that's possible, Joel? You're shaking your head.
Absolutely not. I mean, look, he has a very winnable conference right now. Like, he's not in the SEC at this moment. He's in the ACC, Georgia Tech and Virginia on top. He has everything he needs. He's got more resources than pretty much anybody else in that conference. And he's not shown thus far that he's adjusted well to this new era of football, right? Like, he's just not, like, the NIL stuff has just not come through the trend. He hasn't really used the portal like a lot of other coaches. He did a little bit more. He took some more transfers this year, but not like that. And then you could make the argument that, again, in terms of development, man, did Cade Klubnik get better? Like, he hasn't had like a special running back in the last couple of years. I guess Will Shipley.
Also, his number one NFL QB to point to is Deshaun Watson, which, that did not age well for him. You know what I mean?
Did Clemson have massage parlors? How do you?
He's got Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is at least a serviceable, pretty decent NFL QB.
That's how much I forget about Trevor Lawrence.
By the way, I want to address the chat right now. The chat is reminding me that Urban Meyer was harboring a murderer on Florida.
So was Belichick.
First of all, guys, I'm not so sure that Urban Meyer was going out and doing the drills with Aaron Hernandez. I don't know if he was doing that. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Aaron Hernandez, his shit happened when he played for New England, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think
it was happening across the timeline. He was getting busy at Florida.
But here's the thing. Yeah. My thing is this. If the coach knew, then that's one thing. Can you imagine, though, like Aaron Hernandez coming down and talking to like Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer, well, hey, Aaron, what's up? Well, what do you want to talk to me about? And Aaron Hernandez go, I got some crazy shit to tell you, coach. Urban Meyer's like, well, we're not using an offense right. Is there something? Do you not like the chip? We don't have to do that. We can split you out wide. You're very versatile. We don't want you to. He's like, Coach, I had to do somebody. What do you mean you had to do somebody, Aaron? Nah. I had to put in some work, Coach. And Urban Meyer going, fuck. Oh, tell me about that shit. How did that shit go? Let's throw the cops off your trail. That's not what happened. That never happened.
But yo,
So,
he was accused of killing.
He just didn't ask.
He was accused of shooting somebody in Florida, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
so-
Urban's policy was don't ask, don't tell. You know what I mean?
But what I'm trying to say is that, like, if we go through the list of coaches that had people do heinous shit while they were there, it's a lot of players. So I don't think that we could really blame Urban Meyer.
Look at him. He already ready for him, man. Look at you. You already.
No, I'm just being. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be.
Make the case.
Bro, I'm trying to be fair to Urban Meyer. I don't think it's fair to blame Urban Meyer for Aaron Hernandez's like peccadillos and things like that. I don't think that's fair to do. But
do you guys
maybe I'm wrong.
remember?
Maybe it's his fucking fault.
My favorite Urban Meyer moment. Sorry, Joel. My favorite Urban Meyer moment was when Percy Harvin slapped him on the ass. Do you guys remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah.
That was like Urban was holding on
it.
for dear life with that team. He was
He's like,
holding on for dear life. He was like, I can't. He's like, I can't deal with this team.
He had to take it, man. Percy
He
Harvin's
just
bad
turned around,
motherfucker, man.
he was
He's a legendary thing. He's a legendary G, man. Percy Harvin.
Yeah.
He's a legendary
He was
G.
like, you better be glad it was you, Percy, because otherwise I would have fucking choked somebody. It was.
You know what that's like? That's like when you going to dance on a girl, you know, and you dancing on her. You know what I'm saying? And then T-Bob was talking about this. Y'all know this. You dance on a girl and you dance on her, and then she does that little thing where she turns around and look to see if you are worthy of the dance. And then you're like, what's up? What's up? And then she's like, yeah, cool. That's what Urban Meyer did to Percy Harvin. If he would have turned around and it would have been like the long snapper that slapped him on his ass, yank his scholarship.
Yeah, even if it was like a Pouncey twin, I think he would have taken the scholarship. I think Percy was the only one. Like if Tebow did it, he would have been like, "You're bitch."
If Tebow did it, we just saw something different when he turned around and from the front of his pants. If Tebow did it, Urban Meyer would, oh, dad. He loves Tim Tebow, guys.
Wow.
If Tebow would have smacked him, Urban Meyer would have been, ooh.
Oh man.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he would have made the Pillsbury Doughboy sound.
They don't make college teams like that anymore.
You know when you poke the Pillsbury Doughboy?
Yeah.
What a
Tim
time.
Tebow he loved Tim Tebow.
Shout out to Chris Leak. He's the one who laid the foundation for that whole team.
The Pouncey twins are like the Hodge twins, man. I'm surprised they ain't gone for that market yet, man. I feel like every time I see the Pouncey twins are like, again, no, I don't want them to come after me.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
kind of scary.
You need to be careful.
Why don't you chill, Joe?
Okay,
Joe,
I'm just I gotta say,
don't bite off some shit. Don't bite off.
I gotta say it. Let me say it,
because I'm not riding with you.
Let me just say it. Man.
I disavow.
I mean, they just. I just feel like every time I read a story with the Pouncey twins involved, it's just like always some, it's some bad shit, man. That's all. I wasn't. It's just like I just feel like I ain't never read a story with the Pouncey twins. You know how they said the West Side Gun has a song, and it's like, at the end of the song, it's like, they had West Side Gun Day. It's about bringing the community together and shit like that. They ain't never even had a West Side Gun holiday news story for the Pouncey twins. I ain't never seen no shit like that. Not saying that they haven't, but it just kind of feels like, just whenever they're around, it's just not a good time. That's all.
I'm looking at.
They got Debo energy.
Before we get off Urban Meyer, real quick.
Ooh.
These are Urban Meyer's records. Florida and Ohio State combined. 9-3, 13-1, 9-4, 13-1, 13-1, 8-5. Remember, he conned his way out of Florida. 12-0, 12-2, 14-1, 12-1, 11-2, 11-2, 10-1.
Ooh.
Coaching college football.
7-0 versus Michigan, by the way.
Coaching college football.
Get that man.
All of these. 3 national championships, a BCS national championship, then another BCS national championship, and a college football playoff. Like a college football coach with a capital C.
Bro.
In the first year of the new model.
Nobody in the SEC wants to see Urban Meyer go to LSU. That's how you know it's like everybody's like, oh shit. Like after the bad headlines for a week or two or whatever, and he gets through his first couple press conferences, and then it'll be like, God damn, man, Urban Meyer's down there at LSU.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't know if they got the guts to do it. If not, I saw a clip of Art
Nah,
Browse.
that's not happening.
I saw a clip of Art Browse talking about how he almost had the Texas job a few years ago. When he like in 2014, 2015, and he was talking about, yeah, man, he lost, I don't know, some bowl game, and he was talking about, yeah, man, I was going to go to
Who'd
Texas.
they hire? Tom Herman?
I think it was Tom Herman, man.
Yeah, I kind of remember that search. I do recall that. So I don't think he's. You're not too far off, Joel. Speaking of Texas, they honored the 2005 national championship team at halftime today. Mac Brown, Vince Young,
man.
the rest of the guys.
Oh,
another great team.
Fucking man, yeah. Vince Young is my favorite football player, man. I love Vince Young so much, man.
I loved Vince Young on the Titans with CJ2K. That was a fun time.
I had him do a cameo for my pop's birthday one year, man. That's how much I love fucking Vince Young, man. Yeah,
it's very special.
Yeah, man. Me and my pops, man, we went and saw Vince Young's final high school game. We didn't know it was going to be that. It was in state semifinals against Austin Westlake, which is Drew Brees' alma mater, right? And I mean, it's just I'll never forget. Like Vince Young was just incredible, man. I've never been more entertained. And in fact, it ruined high school football for me for a few years because I was like, man, these motherfuckers ain't Vince Young. Like, I was just so mad that nobody could be Vince Young. So yeah, man, shout out Vince Young, man.
I saw Colt McCoy on their show the other day, and Colt McCoy was talking about being a kid from West Texas. He went to a camp that he wasn't even supposed to go to, and they ended up offering him a scholarship. And he was talking about how much Vince Young, watching him growing up, helped him develop his game, his imagination on the field and stuff. It was really sweet. So,
if you guys are wondering why you're not getting the up to the second updates that I normally give when we're doing this, is because it is legitimately a lot harder to follow the games. With no YouTube TV.
It is.
I'm on Oklahoma, Tennessee, but it is much more difficult for me to follow the games in real time doing this show with no YouTube TV. They need to fucking fix this situation.
Get this shit right.
I blame everyone.
Yeah, I blame everyone except for the fans, except for the viewers. The viewers are doing their job. We're trying to watch the games, talk about.
I'm just trying to have them figure this shit out, man. I mean, I was like the last cable holdout. I was sick. I don't want to going to all these different apps and figuring out TV and shit like that, man. And I was like, if it's because of shit like this, I'm tired of it, man. So yeah, but no, there's no chance that we're ever going to get consumer protections that are effective anymore, though. So I mean, all that shit's over. So I guess we're just complaining we're just spitting into the wind. But man, that shit is annoying.
A couple more things I wanted to hit before we get out of here. Navy no longer undefeated. They lose to North Texas. Shout out to the Mean Green. Their fans were loud and going crazy in that game. And Navy, I mean, they weren't favored in that game, so it wasn't much of an upset. But again, they were undefeated. There are 6 teams with 1 loss in the American Conference. So that conference is just a jumbled up mess. So we'll figure out what the G5 looks like. It's going to be fun.
North Texas, man.
Yeah,
Some Texas is so good, man.
Yeah. Good team, good coach, coming from the Mike Leach tree
Eric
there
Morris,
at Wazoo.
right.
Yep, shout out to him. And then the last thing I wanted to hit with you guys, I thought this was a great moment. Coach Prime pointed this out, said it was a beautiful moment, meant a lot to him. Mike Vick versus DeSean Jackson turned into a great game on Thursday night. Joel, you wrote about this, but this was for anybody that loved watching those two guys play football, to see them coaching against each other, it was a special moment. It was really cool.
Man, I even had to hit up the athletic director at Delaware State. Shout out to Tony Tucker, man. He's a second-year athletic director at Delaware State. He had kind of a weird path into it because he didn't really work in college. He was like a headmaster at like a prep school type stuff, and so in boarding schools. And he got that job at Delaware State. And I asked him, I was like, man, what made you hire DeSean Jackson? He's like, man, you just get in the room with him and you can feel it. This guy is real. Like, this is a real thing. And man, I've been saying the hiring of DeSean Jackson is maybe the most inspired coaching hire of the year in college football, man. Delaware State
is doing a great job. Yeah,
they've not been this good in 20 years, right? Like they didn't had a winning season since like 2012 or something like that, and like they've already won 6 games or whatever. Michael Vick, they're struggling down there in Norfolk.
He just fired a bunch of his staff.
Yeah,
they're
man,
doing some turnover. Yeah, but it was a good game. 27-20. It was a close game.
It was a good game, man, bro. Delaware State could play in the fucking national championship game, man.
Wow,
they're headed to the Celebration Bowl, man.
Oh, I was about to quiz Tate. I was
my
about to
bad.
quiz Tate
My
on
bad.
what
What
it was.
like
I
what
should-
the
I- you
standings
would've-
are right now?
No,
I
on
love
what the
this
name
flag.
of the
He
black
was going to
college.
ask you if he didn't. Yeah.
If you could know what the name of the black college, but Celebration Bowl.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, man.
he kind of ruined it, but I could have got it.
I think Tate would have known that. Tate would have. Why are you pressing Tate this show?
I'm
man?
not pressing Tate.
You pressing Tate, man.
I'm not. But you know what?
I went to a
It's-
North Carolina A&T football game when I was in high school, man. Who rocks the house? The Aggies rock the house. It was an epic game.
Greensboro,
Okay.
shout out.
Okay.
It was an epic
okay.
game.
Yeah, man, the Aggies.
It's also important that these brothers who want to be head coaches just get opportunities to get their feet wet, to be in control, to interview, to answer the questions, to put programs together. And so, whether or not they both become legendary coaches at the places that they're at, it's really important for the ecosystem of Black coaches, particularly Black former NFL players, for these guys to be able to get these opportunities. So I'm glad to see both of them have the opportunity, and I hope that it works out for both of them.
Can I
And
just
that
say
Monday
this
night
too?
football game is forever.
Yeah.
The DeSean
the
Jackson
best
first play.
throw, the best throw in the history. The best throw I've
man.
ever seen in NFL history, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Michael Vick. Even though Van showed me some clips of Michael Vick versus Lamar Jackson, and it does look like Michael Vick's running in slow motion compared to Lamar Jackson.
It's
But,
a different time. It was a
Yeah, it's a
different
different
I'm just letting y'all. It wasn't trying to be a diss to Vic, but
no, you were just saying that. Like, look at this. You were just
me and
trying to show
Jomi were at the
example.
crib and we were watching Vic
Shout out to
highlights,
Jomi.
and Vic was moving. But then when you put Lamar moving, it's obvious that Lamar is the next level of Vic. And even Jaden Daniels, they running faster than what Vic was, but Vic was the man, and that's it. That's it. That's it. I
Mhm.
don't want to hear no Vic slander. Vic was the man.
I will say this: Lamar Jackson. I went to the Louisville Carolina football game, and I saw Lamar Jackson in person in college. That was one of the most impressive games, performances. Like I was like, who the hell is this guy? I was like, he's unbelievable.
Yeah,
he went on to win the Heisman. So shout out to Lamar Jackson.
Crazy. Oh, real quick, I just wanted to say, because, John Thompson, building off what Van said, John Thompson once said, man, you shouldn't have to be John Thompson to get a head coaching job. There's a lot of coaches that fail, man. And that's the kind of thing, when you just see all this talk about the head coaching candidates and all the people that are up for these jobs, man, shit, most of these guys are going to fail, right? And people are going to forget it. And I just like to see throwing some of the brothers out there, man. Give them a chance to fail too. Shit. They can go out there and go 6-6 like anybody else. So anyway, that's all I just want to say that.
Yeah.
I like it. Good final points. Parting shots, Van. Last thoughts
Joel's.
before we get out of here.
Joel just did the I Have a Dream speech. That was his version of it. Party shots. Look, we are in the middle of the season here. LSU football will be back next week. Next week will be one of the most interesting weeks for some of the games that are up. But right now, you see some of the teams flexing their muscle. Indiana, a big spread against Maryland there. Joel, Maryland football, just taking one on the chin.
Man,
Indiana looks so good. Like
Indiana looks right.
That's not fair.
Like one of the teams, man.
I kind of
One
think
of
they can
the
win the
teams.
national championship, and maybe I'm crazy, but they're so
I
good.
definitely think that they are a legitimate threat. I think you have to now. You have to take off your
Be
Hoosier
respectful.
colored glasses and look at Indiana as a legitimate national championship threat and a team that could be a legitimate national championship threat for years to come. So, a lot of flexing of the muscle going. We got one big upset. Overall, thus far, it's been a good week of college football.
Yep. Joel, parting shots, last thoughts?
Yeah, man. First of all, I hope that we're all able to get our multi-views back next week. That would be nice. Please, I'd love to get that. And, man, you know what? I'm getting the feeling, man, that college game day, the big game next week, might be in Lubbock, Texas, man. BYU at Texas Tech. So the Big 12 might be in the center stage for a little bit. So I hope they put on a good show for people, because I feel like the times that the Big 12 has had a chance to capture the attention of the nation, they've not really lived it. Even that Texas Tech Utah game just didn't quite turn out the way that I thought. So I hope they can put on a good show. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I just can't believe that next week will be week 11, man. That's just
Week 11.
Week
Zooming
11.
by.
I just
Yeah.
can't believe the season is going on like this, and it's crazy.
It's
crazy.
flying by. Texas Tech, they were kind of in a dogfight early in that game, but 43-20, they end up winning against Kansas State. BYU undefeated. We got Georgia Tech right now, 17-14, right before halftime. USC Nebraska is happening right now. Oklahoma Tennessee, 10-7, and we got Cincinnati Utah later tonight. So
Billy
there you
says,
go.
by the way, that it's confirmed that game day will be in Lubbock next week. They tweeted
Oh,
it
for
out.
real? Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. All right.
That's confirmed. So we'll
I'm a
see.
good, I'm a good
Joel.
producer, man.
Yeah,
I know.
he knows what's happening. He
That's
must
right.
have reached out to Reese Davis or something. But
I
there
did-
you
I did.
have it.
We
Ringer
interviewed Reese
tailgate.
Davis on Press Box earlier this year. You know, so that's my dude, man.
He's a good dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
Alabama guy.
Never
Sorry.
met him.
no longer blocked by Herb Street though. That's the real.
Right.
Well, like, I mean, yeah, we good with Herbie.
We're
now,
good.
man.
We're good with game day now. This has been Ringer Tailgate. We appreciate everybody tuning into the show. We're glad we figured out all the lagging early on, and hope everybody enjoys the late night slate of games, the World Series, and we will see you all on Wednesday. 21 or older in present and select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.